The Gospel of Mark. Feeding the 5,000. Mark 6:32-44. Introduction. 1. One of the better-known miracles of Jesus is feeding the 5,000. A. With just 5 loaves and 2 fish. B. With 12 baskets of fragments left over. 2. It is the only specific miracle performed by Jesus recorded in all 4 Gospels. A. Matthew 14:13-21, Mark 6:30-44, Luke 9:10-17, John 6:1-13. B. We will let Mark's account be the starting point for our study. They went away in the boat to a desert place by themselves. They saw them going, and many recognized him and ran there on foot from all the cities. They arrived before the man came together to him. Jesus came out, saw a great multitude, and he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. When it was late in the day, his disciples came to him, and said, This place is deserted, and it is late in the day. Send them away, that they may go into the surrounding country and villages, and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat. But he answered them, You give them something to eat. They asked him, Shall we go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread, and give them something to eat? Mark 6:32-37. He said to them, How many loaves do you have? Go see. When they knew, they said, 5, and 2 fish. He commanded them that everyone should sit down in groups on the green grass. They sat down in ranks, by hundreds and by 50s. He took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and broke the loaves, and he gave to his disciples to set before them, and he divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate, and were filled. They took up 12 baskets full of broken pieces, and also of the fish. Those who ate the loaves were 5,000 men. Mark 6:38-44. 1. What it reveals about Jesus. A. Compassion. 1. He wanted his disciples to rest, but compassion moved him to serve. Mark 6:34. 2. Compassion that moved him to send the apostles out earlier. Matthew 9:36 and 10:1. 3. That later moved him to feed the 4,000. Matthew 15:32-38. 4. That qualifies him to be a perfect high priest. Hebrews 4:14-16 and 5:1-2. This miracle reveals the wonderful compassion of our Lord. B. Power. 1. The power to feed 5,000 men with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Mark 6:38-44. 2. 5,000 men, besides women and children, possibly 10,000. Matthew 14:21. 3. With 12 baskets of fragments left over. Mark 6:43. 4. The sort of power that provides more than one needs. Ephesians 3:20. This miracle reveals the overwhelming power of our Lord. C. Orderliness. 1. Jesus arranged the multitude in groups and ranks. Mark 6:39-40. 2. Such orderliness is typical, evidenced by his creation. Colossians 1:16. Psalms 19:1. Romans 1:19-20. 3. He desires it in the organization and worship of his churches. 1 Corinthians 14:33 and 40. This miracle reveals the careful orderliness of our Lord. 2. What it reveals about man. A. Misunderstanding. 1. Their initial reaction was correct. A. That Jesus was the prophet who was to come into the world. John 6:14. B. As foretold by Moses and confirmed by Peter. Deuteronomy 18:15-18. Acts 3:18-26. 2. But their desire to make a king reveals their misunderstanding. A. They wanted to make him a literal king. John 6:15. B. His kingdom was not to be a literal kingdom. John 18:36. Luke 17:20-21. 3. Today, we should not presume to know what is God's will. A. His ways and thoughts are often much different than our own. Isaiah 55:8-9. B. Thus we should be quick to hear, rather than presume. Ecclesiastes 5:1-2. The response to this miracle reveals man's ability to misunderstand God's will. B. Materialism. 1. They sought Jesus for the wrong reasons. A. They wanted the physical food he provided. John 6:26. B. They should have sought food that endures to everlasting life. John 6:27. 2. He wanted to give them true bread. A. That gives life to the world. John 6:32-33. B. The bread of life, given to those who believe. John 6:34-35. 2. Today, people often choose churches for the wrong reasons. A. Entertainment, youth programs, etc. B. When they should be looking for spiritual things. Romans 14:17. The response to this miracle reveals man's tendency to desire material things. C. Dullness. 1. They complained about him. A. Because of his claim to be bread from heaven. John 6:41. B. Because they saw him only as the son of Joseph and Mary. John 6:42. 2. They struggled over his sayings. A. Taking him literally. John 6:52. B. Even many of his disciples left him. John 6:60-66. 3. Today, many demonstrate a similar dullness. A. Unwilling to stay with Jesus and like the apostles. John 6:67-69. B. Unwilling to make use of their time to learn and apply. Hebrews 5:11-14. The response to this miracle reveals man's propensity to spiritual dullness. Conclusion. 1. The miracle we have studied offers insight into the person of Jesus Christ. A. His compassion for the souls and bodies of mankind. B. His power to provide for every need of man. C. His orderliness in the work he sets out to perform. 2. The reaction to this miracle reveals insight into the propensity of man. A. To misunderstand the will of God. B. To seek after material things of the world. C. To be dull of heart, which leads to the first two. 3. What will be our response to this wonderful miracle? A. Let our spiritual dullness to take it lightly, or ignore it altogether. B. Let it increase our faith in him who provides our every need. Jesus' intention was to draw men to him as the bread of life which nourishes our souls. May we not be so blinded by the materialism that we fail to labor for that which leads to everlasting life. John 6:27. The end. The Gospel of Mark. Feeding the 5,000. Mark 6:32-44.